Hi guys, sometimes the house is noisy, so I like to do voiceover. So that's what we're doing today, and we have started some bread. I'll leave you guys the recipe for this. This is my normal sandwich bread that I make. I used to make all the time, but I accidentally made the double recipe, and so I have a double recipe here, and I always measure this one out in grams. And so I will leave that recipe for you below. And so we are going to go ahead and make a sandwich loaf out of this, which is going to be interesting. Not the sandwich loaf part, but we are also going to make a boule. So after I did several stretch and folds, I think I did 4 or 5, about 20 minutes apart, I'm going to break this sourdough in 2 different loaves. So I'm just going to cut it down the middle, and then we'll let it do its bulk rise separately, because there's no way that it's going to be able to do one bulk rise and then I can switch it. So I want to make 2 different loaves out of this, so I'm going to go ahead and break it apart, and then I will put it in 2 different bowls with lids. This is a very sticky dough, which I like, because usually with a stickier dough, a more hydrated dough, you get a better rise on your sourdough. So I think with the second one, I went ahead and put a little oil in. So it's just nice getting these separated out so I can put them in the oven for a nice bulk rise on proof in my oven. Because it's a cold day outside, so I am not going to be able to proof these. It would take forever out on the counter. And now, while the bread is bulk rising, I am going to go ahead, and I have some Asiago beef. We had a half cow butchered, and we're going to make some beef broth. And then we will later on make some soup out of the beef from this. But these have a nice big leg bone in them. So it makes a good beef broth when you got some bone and some meat. So this will make a nice tender meat to make some soup with later on, or some taco meat. One of those things in the near future. So I just go ahead and make the broth out of all of this. Then I don't have to defrost the meat. And it's got a nice big bone in there the dogs can have later, or I can just use again for soup or for the bones later on, because you can use your beef bones like 4 times to make beef broth and just get all the nutrients out of them. So I'm putting it in my pressure cooker, and we're going to add some stuff to this. We have some homegrown onions here that we grew last year. We always keep some celery on hand and just add that to our broth. These are peppercorns. I just put them in whole when we're doing broth. Who cares? We just want the flavor in there, and it will stay in there when the broth is done. Some good healthy salt, and I'll put quite a bit in there. It's surprising how much salt is actually in broth. A lot of people don't know that. got the last carrot in the whole house. Carrots don't last very long in our house because of the dogs. They love them. And I add them to their food. Couple bay leaves that we bought at the bulk Amish store. Love that place. This is a little cayenne. I love to put that in there for color mostly. That's why I only did a little dash. It makes the broth look so beautiful in just the little bit of color. And of course, you always have to put some garlic in, right? Garlic makes everything taste better. So the way I do garlic cloves is I cut off the end and then I smash it and then the paper just pops right off. Easy to do, takes no time at all. Then I just grab a container, fill it up with water, and pour it over everything in my Instant Pot. And always a dash of apple cider vinegar. This is the good stuff with the mother. Whenever you're making broth of any kind, especially bone broth, this will draw out the good stuff out of the bones, especially when you are doing it the Instapot style and you're cooking it faster under pressure. If you're cooking it on the back of your stove over days, it's going to do that, but this just makes the process go a little bit faster. After 4 hours, it is done. Now I get some jars. These are old jars that I have used. My mom likes to get peaches from the Amish store when we go there, and we can reuse these jars, so we do. So there is labels on them. Labels say peaches, but I can still write on the top what this is: beef broth. So I use a funnel, and then I have a mesh strainer in my funnel, and that's how I am getting the junk out of the juices of the broth, and we're going to can this up. Now I am taking out all the bones and all of the meat that's in here. I'm going to separate everything from the meat. We're going to save the meat, of course, and we will reuse these bones to make some more broth. Because like I said earlier, you can use it up to 4 times. That's the wonderful thing about beef bones. And I just like to... I had to get some of that stuff out to get more for this last container for broth. But so in the process, I'm just getting all of this out, all that goodness on there. You saw that bone fall. And the meat is just so tender. It's going to be perfect for some shredded beef, for tacos or some soup, it will get used up. We don't waste hardly anything here on the homestead. If we don't eat it ourselves, the animals do, which is wonderful. Not that this beef is going to go to the animals. This beef is amazing, so tender. It is definitely going to be used for some tacos. These white lids are Tatler lids. They have to be on a little tighter. Isn't that beautiful beef? That's tacos in my future. Now let's check on our bulk rise on this bread. That bread is not ready yet. It's 3 o'clock, so I gotta go feed the pigs and say hi to Miss Millie because she always needs to say hi.
Sweet girl.
We raise our pigs on pasture, so they get moved once a week. And these are our beautiful pigs that will be going in the freezer later. Not all of them for our family, but these are Berkshire Hereford Cross, and this is Miss Pigglesworth right here, the mother of all these lovely little piglets, and she's a sweetie. And a good mom. I come back in and we are ready to put our bobber on and get it up to 10 pounds of pressure. So I was a little bit impatient, and you will see why these went a little crazy. You can see the bubbles coming up, and I should have just left them in there and let the water cool down that was around them before I took them out. You have to be very careful with these kind of things. The good thing is they did seal, even though I made this mistake, but I don't recommend doing this because you can see here it was bad. This is the next morning. I let my sourdough be in the fridge all night, and this is the result of our bowl that we made. Need to work on my scoring, but that is awesome. I'm so happy with that. Whew, nice and hot still, nice and crunchy. I have a sandwich loaf in there at the same time. This is, you know, to eat with some soup or stuff like that. Even though I scored it, it's still cracked in several spots. So it wanted to even go higher. So next time I'll have to make those relief scores on the other side a little bigger. Come along. Once a week I'll be doing a video where I'm making some bread, and I'll probably get in more detail soon. I'm just coming back off of a long period of not making bread, and I used to make bread all the time, sourdough loaves, all kinds of stuff. But we are going to get into ancient wheats is our next big thing. Actually have them coming on Monday, and we have a mock mill coming in March. So we will be doing all of the fun things with ancient wheat and learning how to make with that. And I have cooked with einkorn is what we want to do. And one of the reasons why is because it is so much better on your blood pressure, or not your blood pressure, your blood sugar. I have a brother-in-law that takes his blood sugar before and after he eats all the time, because he used to be diabetic, and he became undiabetic by doing the carnivore diet or the keto diet. So now we want to get back into bread, but we're like, okay, well, let's not just do regular bread. Let's do ancient grains. So we'll be getting into that, and I am coaching his wife on how to make sourdough, and so I'm learning a lot by coaching her. Maybe I can bring that to you guys, and because when you're coaching somebody else and they ask questions, thank God I had the answer to those questions and I knew the answer to those questions, but it's just good because it makes you think about what you need to know or what you need to be thinking about as a response to somebody, and it works out. And nice big beautiful loaf of sourdough, and we're excited about it. So we'll have this with some, we're gonna make some beef and barley soup with that broth and that beef that we made the other day. Maybe I can shoot that video too, and just share all the things on the homestead, gardening. We do it all here, and so I will show little glimpses of everything that we do. But I really enjoy making bread, so it's really part of my heart, and it's just an awesome piece of bread. Trying to keep this crust a little softer.
a hell of it got cost, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, not as bubbly as I'd like it, but I'm gonna have a piece.
Yeah, me too.
You too.
I'll let you cut it.
And then I gotta do this one. I am filming.
You got one?
I am filming.
Oh,
I gotta cut this one open too, so people can see.
oh, beautiful, yeah.
Nice bread. Sandwich loaf, just for every day. And then I thought this would be perfect with our soup, our beef and barley soup that we're gonna make later.
Absolutely.
Which one do you want?
I don't care. Just hand me one. Just hand me one. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, it's warm too.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Delish.
I love it when it's nice and extra sour. Not extra sour, but when you do it overnight like that in the fridge, it does get a little more sour, and I like that. So, even though this was a bread, a sandwich bread recipe, it worked good for the bowl too, so I'm happy with it. God bless. We'll see you guys next time here on Hedgehog's Homestead.